Today is all about noise. Noise in your rig, noise in your guitar. This is IkeGuitar. Let's talk about it. Alright, so have you ever been to a gig and you plugged in to your amp and all of a sudden you get this crazy amount of hum? So much that you can't even play your quiet parts because the hum is so overpowering. Been there, done that. It's annoying. But thankfully, there are a ton of things you can do to reduce or mitigate the amount of hum in your rig. But first, we gotta talk about what hum is and where it comes from. Now, first off, what is hum? You know it, you love it. Take a listen here. Ah, yes, the beautiful sound of guitar hum. Now, that hum is a 60 cycle hum, and that hum is coming from the single coils in my Stratocaster. Now, single coils are notorious for inducing hum into your signal chain. It's nothing new to anybody in the guitar world. Now, that's why they invented humbuckers. Humbuckers actually reduce the amount of hum going into your pickups, but even humbuckers are not immune to the wiles of a good 60 cycle hum. But noise is not just hum. We'll go over hum first, and then we'll talk about other kinds of noise. But essentially, when you induce 60 cycle hum into your signal chain, it gets really annoying, and you can't actually play anything nuanced because the hum is so overpowering. Well, how do we get hum into our signal so we can get it out? Well, here's the deal with hum. Most hum comes down to three different categories. There's gain-based hum, there's EMI-based hum, and there's just low noise floor. You got a guitar that's got a low noise floor, and it's picking up everything under the sun. Now, EMI happens because your guitars have a bunch of magnets in it. EMI, electromagnetic interference, is one of the main ways people get hum into their instruments. Now, if you're on stage with a bunch of incandescent light bulbs and lighting arrays and a lot of power going here and there, your guitar is going to pick up some kind of EMI. Sorry, it's going to happen, which is why it's important that you understand where to stand on stage with your EMI, okay? So for example, if I have my guitar turned all the way up, now I have got a lot of hum going through my signal chain right now. No noise gate, no nothing, pure strat tone. Watch as I turn my guitar a little bit to my left. See how it kind of goes away? That's EMI. The easy way of telling if you have EMI coming through on your rig is if you turn down your guitar. If it goes away, you know that it's with your pickups. If not, you got something else in your signal chain giving you some problems. That is EMI. Now, the way to fix EMI is pretty simple. You kind of want to just decide a certain position to take on the stage that's going to mitigate the amount of EMI coming into your pickups. Now, that isn't always cut and dry. It's super complicated sometimes, and sometimes you can't afford to move somewhere else on stage, which is why a noise gate can really help. But be aware that noise gates are a double-edged sword. If your noise gate threshold isn't set properly or in the right spot on your pedal board, you can get the sound of your reverb tails being abruptly cut off by a poorly thresholded noise gate. Now, what other kinds of noise sounds are there? Well, we have hum coming from EMI, electromagnetic interference, but also we've got hum coming from good old gain. Now listen, gain is a great thing. Gain has been helping guitarists achieve radical changes in sound and in the culture since the 1960s, practically. But gain is also a major source of hum. Not necessarily because gain in itself is noisy, though it is. Gain merely amplifies any EMI you have coming down your signal chain. Let me show you an example of some gain-based hum. Alright, so we have our normal hum. What happens if I turn on a pedal that has gain on it? You hear that? That is some delicious hum. I love the sound of good gain-based hum in the morning. Now, as you can see, no amount of turning is really going to get it out of the signal chain. But if you play it, you can kind of get out of it. People don't recognize the hum when you play the guitar. But still, the hum is still there when you're not playing. Now, the way to get gain-based hum out of your signal chain is to use either less gain on the pedal you're using or to introduce a noise gate. Now, noise gates are really, really cool. Not everyone loves noise gates, mind you. Now, if you have a noise gate right after your gain pedal in your signal chain, you can mitigate a lot of that hum. Let me show you the same pedal that I'm using here, but with a noise gate added right after it. You hear that? No, the hum is dramatically less, okay? Let me take off the noise gate so you can hear the difference. Yeah, you can hear that noise gate does a lot to help the sound of the guitar. And I still get my gain tones without as much hum. Now that we've gone through the kind of hum you can get from a gain pedal, let's talk about the hum kind of sounds you can get if your rig isn't set up properly. Sometimes when you set up a rig, you can introduce hum because you've got power lines crossing into your audio lines. It is super important that when you build a pedal board, which I have had videos in the past about building a pedal board, that whenever power has to cross audio, it always crosses perpendicular. It'll cancel out some of that hum you get from the power seeping into your audio source. And let's not forget about grounding your equipment. Grounding is really important when it comes to mitigating 60 cycle hum or 50 if you live in the UK or Europe in your rig, okay? In order to ground your signal, make sure you're always plugging your rig into a grounded socket with a grounding pin on your electric cable. Those are very important. Also, running your rig into a DI box also gives you a ground lift function. You can induce a ground with the DI box instead of outside in the ground. Now, there's one more type of noise you can actually get in your rig. That's digital noise. Now, I don't have a way of inducing digital noise into my rig so you guys can hear what that sounds like, but if you have a digital pedal that runs off of computer chips and you use inadequate power, you can sometimes run into a weird, blippy sounding, kind of computery sounding hum. Now, digital hum sounds a little bit different, kind of sounds like a computer's talking to you, but no need to worry if you have an issue with your power going into a digital pedal, especially ones that take a lot of milliamps, kind of like an H6 Stomp or one of the other combo digital pedals. You might have to have a separate power source just to power that pedal. So make sure that your power supply can run the amount of voltage and milliamps required to power some of these really hogging pedals. Alright guys, that is the 101 on how to get rid of hum in your rig. Now listen, hum is inevitable for all of us, so don't be dismayed if you have a little bit of hum in your signal. Unless you have a noise gate, you're not really going to get all of the hum out of your signal, and even then, when you pass the noise gate threshold, it's all going to get introduced back into the signal. But it's also very important that it suits your dynamic needs. If you guys need to have a little bit more gain than you think to play some more intricate and dynamic sounds, you're going to want to make sure that hum is not a distraction or in the way of your tone. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I make videos all the time, all about guitar stuff. If you guys are having issues with your hum, check to make sure it's not EMI first. If it's EMI, you can't really fix it. But if it is in your rig, make sure you troubleshoot that early and make sure you get rid of it for your next show. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.